nothing but being brutally honest, coming at you with another video.
What is up, everybody? We are back once again for the recap show with me and Bella. How's it going?
Oh my God, are you so excited? I even brought the pom-poms out.
Yeah. 5-game winning streak. We're on fire. And what's the good news? We're the number 1 seed in the NFC, and we balling, just like Travis Keene said.
And the beauty is, if we win this Sunday against the Cardinals, I believe we win the West, correct?
Yep. The win will, because if we win this one for sure, there's no way no other team in the NFC is going to catch up to our division. We're already up by 4 games right now.
Look at that. I just think we should just celebrate. If we had bottles to pop, we would be popping them.
Yeah, but like
good news.
Yeah, just like that, but we got to recap this game and see how you feel about it. I've tried to reach out to some Seattle fans. They just didn't seem ready for this type of play. They didn't feel it.
I believe it. Let me look back at what we said for predictions. This is what you said last week. You said it was going to be 38-17.
We were a little off on it, but I still thought it would be that kind of. But I think we were coming off a blowout win over the Eagles, which kind of maybe overwhelmed us a little bit. But now we're starting to regroup on it.
I agree. I mean, I went really overboard. I said 42-17 because I was like, yeah, we're just going to keep going. And then the actual score was 28-16. But, we got the Seattle score right.
Yeah, they only scored 16, like how we had it.
Yeah, so
I think I had 17, but you had 16, so you were close.
We both had 17. We both had 17, but the actual score was 16. So
okay, that's fair. But
still,
we were just 2 touchdowns behind. That was it.
So close, yeah, so far. But nevertheless, we won. Who is your MVP for that game?
The MVP of this, it's just, if you look at the performance on offense, it was just really it's just hard to choose one, you know what I mean? But I have to say, as far as performance, man, how do you stop Deebo Samuel? It's just, this man's on fire. I'm just gonna go with Deebo until he doesn't have a breakout game. I have to go with Deebo.
There we go. Deebo was, I think he was the MVP for us. We picked him last week too. This week, I'm going to vote for him. Check mark next to his name. Outstanding. He gets the ball and he just goes. He just has blinders on and he goes.
I mean, I could go with Ayuk, but he fumbled. That kind of killed my performance right there. But he had a great game. I'll say that. I mean, you can say Christian McCaffrey's another one, but I got to say Deebo straight up.
Yeah, I just was feeling his energy. I loved it. And then I loved when he got, 1 yard from the touchdown from the
little jet sweep run play where they just run it around.
And then Kyle was like, give it back to him and have him do it. I liked that. I was like, okay, that's cool. That's
I like how we do it sometimes because it can work at a certain extent, but we got to stop being cute sometimes with it because most defense will catch on to it. But
yes, I agree. Okay, so let's talk about the fight that happened during the game. Metcalf, Warner, and who started to come in? The other guy. Now I'm forgetting names.
You're talking about Warner and Lenore that got in?
Lenore that got in, and then Lenore got kicked out. So this is the second game that we've had in a row that one of our players gets kicked out. How do you feel that situation went? Do you think it was fair that Lenore got kicked out? What are your thoughts?
Well, like, just from experience, just from playing on the football field, I can relate to this because here, like, what started this into an issue was when DK like suplexed him, slammed
Mhm.
Warner right from there. Did you really think Warner was gonna just like say, "Oh, nice play, DK"? No, he was just gonna give him a clear message and say, "Hey, man, don't do that again to me."
Mhm.
He was
Mhm.
just tapping him, pushing him right to the ground, and say, "Hey, don't do that shit to me again."
Right. Right.
And I guess he took it the wrong way, but that's not how a dog is. When a dog gets pushed to the ground, they're not gonna say, "Oh, nice play." No, they're
Right.
gonna come at you and say, "Don't do that again, please."
How do you feel about the punishment though? Like, do you feel that Lenore should have gotten kicked out of the game?
I thought it was a dumb call because what
Mhm.
was Lenore even doing? Like Lenore was just defending. I think
Right.
DK needed to get his act together because that's what started the issue. But just like that dumb security guard, he just got our linebacker out of it for no reason.
Yeah. I think I've heard also that Metcalf is known for having kind of a temper.
Yep.
So,
He's a
maybe
bit
that had something to do with it.
he's a bit like okay, like for this guy, all he had
Mhm.
was 2 catches for 52 yards, and after that, nothing. Like I'd be
Mhm.
frustrated when I'm not even getting if I was in his shoes, I'd be upset that I'm not even getting much of the targets anymore. Because if I'm the best receiver on the team and we're down
Right.
by 2 touchdowns, and my quarterback isn't giving me the ball, yeah, I'm probably going to be upset. And the other
Right.
team is having fun with it. Yeah, I might be upset, but I'm not going to take it to the limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the problem with him is I don't even think he fits well with Seattle because Seattle's gonna eventually
No.
they're gonna have to move on with him at some point
Yeah. I mean,
because Pete Carroll's been dealing with this kid's behavior for multiple times. That starts to wear out at some point.
for sure. For sure. Where do you think he'll end up going or get landed?
I think he's gonna go to another team in a couple years. I don't think Seattle's gonna
Mhm.
put up with his behavior for too long. It's probably gonna be a team like part of a contending team, but then it's probably not going to last too long. Like we've had it
Okay.
with certain players in the past too, where it's only good if you're winning, they'll deal with it. But if you start
Right. Right.
losing, they don't want nothing to do with it.
No, that totally makes sense. No one has time for that. And I think a coach also has to realize there's only so much in his capacity that he can do. And Pete Carroll's been in the game for a while too. I'm sure he's also like, get your stuff together because you're on a professional sports team. It looks bad.
Yeah, I mean he's got the body fit of a professional wrestler or just a physique guy, but he just doesn't know how to keep his cool. That's
Mhm.
I mean he's just a specimen. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just man, you got that 4.33 speed. You're just a good route runner, but then your little mental mindset just gets a little off. So I don't know if the reports were true. So I don't know. I can't take nothing out of Michael Silver's reports these days, but I don't know.
Mm,
It's been thrown out there. So this
yeah.
is what I heard. I heard that Kyle Shanahan says whoever frustrates DK Metcalf gets a Christmas gift or something like that. Did you hear
I,
about that?
I saw that too. And I don't know how I feel, but I don't know. Do you see Kyle saying something like that?
I don't think it will because anytime I check out Silver's reports, they're not always accurate at times. Like
Yeah.
I'm always thinking, dude, sometimes even when those reports are out there, he gets his reports debunked at times. So I'm like,
Oh, I see.
like I
Yeah,
don't know, Silver's a liar sometimes. Like he can throw stuff out of the proportion.
I believe that. And I don't know. It could be true. Who knows? I'm sure someone in the press is going to ask about it. Um, but I don't know. I feel like Kyle's really, really focused this year, like literally game by game. And, with the next game with the Cardinals, without looking at the Cardinals record that we know is not that great, they still have to keep that number one seed. They still have to still take it and play efficiently and also stay healthy is another big part of it too.
Yeah, records out the window because this is a division game. This is one of these type of games where
Oh,
you
that's
know
right.
the Cardinals have nothing to lose at this point. They're not even going to the playoffs. They're just trying to spoil a little bit. So I think
Yeah.
you got to take this seriously.
Yeah. The Cardinals are basically playing for I would think like first round picks, right? Don't you want to
Well,
do
they're
more?
playing for a top pick, but they're actually playing for respect and building on for next year because they're not going nowhere. I don't even think they're going anywhere in the next couple of years because they're building for, like, okay, they hire that new coach. I expect it to take a few years for them to be good.
Okay.
That's going to take time. It doesn't
Yeah, I agree with you. It does definitely take time for a team to like get to that level. Speaking of teams and getting to that level, and we were lightweight talking about this before the show, how do you feel about the Giants now that they have, what is it, their third quarterback that's in?
Yeah, I don't know. Something about that quarterback, that DeVito guy. He does
Yeah,
look like
the Italian.
he looks like he can play for one of those mafia movies or something.
Oh my God. I was just talking to my friend about this. I was like, this puts the Italians in such a bad light, but it is what it is, you know? I saw that
Yeah.
his agent was on the field this week after the game. Did you see that with the top hat and everything?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, I don't know. Something about that guy. Something about him just makes it sound like another underdog right there too. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey, this guy seems like. I guess he's not. I don't think he'll put up the numbers like Brock would put, but I think he's another underdog that might just surprise people.
Hey, and I think you said that the Eagles played them this week.
Yeah, I would watch out for that game because I think as of lately the Giants are starting to play a little bit more competitive. So, like if you were saying early in the season, you could say there were cakewalk victories over them, but this one not so much. I think you're kind of going to see a lot of close games now.
I hope so. And so, do you think the Eagles could do 3 straight losses?
Okay, 3 straight losses. I can see it happen with Seattle with a healthy Geno Smith because Geno Smith, the reason why he didn't play because I think it had to do with his elbow or something like that. Or
Yeah,
something
I think he hit an injury.
He had a groin too, but I think it even made it worse. So I think him resting against the Niners was even smarter because it would have actually ruined. It would have ruined everything because Drew Lock didn't look all that spectacular. He did okay.
Right, right.
I mean, I think it was smart of Seattle not to play him. Now that they're going to get him and Kenneth Walker and all that offense, Philadelphia's kind of been struggling a little bit on that defensive side. And I think, like, the way you look at Seattle's offensive line, it's not that bad. It's just I think the defensive line for the Eagles might give them some problems. But I think as long as Geno throws the ball and tries to feature in DK a little more in the passing game, I think they'll be okay. If they can have something similar to what they did against Dallas, they should be able to beat the Eagles.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you on that. How do you feel? And I know we're going a little off the Niners, but it was a big, big game this week. Everyone was talking about it. Every Niner fan was like, only for this game am I rooting for Dallas. How did you feel about that Dallas Eagles game?
It is Niners related if you throw it out there, but I really hated rooting for the Cowboys, but it was just in our best interest to do that. So it wasn't like something that I was just doing it randomly. It was just because there was no other choice. It was going to benefit us at this point of the day.
Yeah, it was a very unique situation. And I know, and I believe that I talked to a Cowboy fan and they were in the same situation when we played the Eagles, that they were like rooting for the Niners. So there was that. And I'm going to call it now. I'm going to call it on your show. I really think it's going to be us in Dallas for the NFC champion game.
I don't know. I just don't trust Dallas. They just don't know how to win the division.
They don't. They're going to fumble. I'm waiting for the interception. I'm waiting because this always happens to them. Okay.
I mean, if they make it to the conference championship, that would be a good accomplishment for Dallas. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't think Dallas can go any further than the divisional round. I had to see it to believe it. I've seen how Dallas are every season. They're always that good team in the regular season.
Right.
They've always had their moments, but then when they finally beat a solid team, they're praising them as Super Bowl contenders. And then when they play in the playoffs, it's like a different story. Like, I don't know. Like, if I'm a Dallas fan, I'd be tired of this type of expectation. I'd be like saying we got to shut our mouth and just wait and see what happens. Because a lot of Dallas fans get too hype on that stuff.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I'd like to see us play them in the conference championship, but in that fashion, I want us to beat them pretty badly to where they can.
We will. I
don't want it to be a close game. I want it to be a
no. Whooping. I don't think so. Don't you think whether we play Dallas or we play the Eagles again in playoffs, whether it's either of those teams, we've already done it once, so it kind of almost feels like one, it's very possible for us to do it again, and two, I would believe that we would have home field advantage, right?
Well, if we win the next 4 games, which is possible, we can do that. And if the Eagles and Dallas keep losing, if Dallas or Philadelphia lose a couple games, we'll hold on to the number 1 seed. And I don't think it matters how it goes from here on out. So I think as far as home field advantage, like, okay, if we're playing Dallas at home, that's going to be a blowout. But if we play them at their home stadium, I think it's going to be a really good game. Because they play better at home than what they do on the road.
Yeah.
But like Philadelphia, we already know. We went down to their stadium. We did beat them, but I think if we play them on the road, I don't think they'll match up anyways. I think this year's Eagles is a little bit suspect. Like they're not they don't have that dog no more. You know, they don't have that guy that I actually made me block on Twitter. They used to have this guy named CJ Gardner-Johnson who was the tone setter for that defense for them.
Oh, okay,
They don't have TJ Edwards who could cover. They don't have Kazir White who's with the Cardinals. They don't have some of those other guys. Oh, Javon Hargrave. Yeah, he may have been a little lost to them, but they did get Jalen Carter in that replacement. But I still think the Eagles are kind of falling off a little bit because they're not that they don't got that physicality. They're good on the trenches. That's all they're good at is the trenches. Jalen Hurts has kind of declined a little bit on numbers.
Like, he definitely has, and I feel like they're still hyping him up for
to be MVP for no reason. Like I look at the numbers and I'm saying, okay, yeah, he's winning from behind games, but those are going to catch up.
And then what is his issue? Isn't he injured? Because I keep hearing that too. Like, oh, he's injured though, or he's injured. Is it his elbow?
No, he hasn't been injured. I think the only problem with Jalen Hurts is he tends to hold on to the ball a little too long than expected. And that's like the thing about Philadelphia's offensive line is they got the best offensive line in football. And this guy, it doesn't matter how long you protect this guy. He can hold on for a couple more seconds and he'll still get sacked. Can't put the
also, with that though, with Philadelphia, when your offense isn't producing scores and your defense is constantly at the front and trying the best they can, and I mean, that's a lot of, I would think as your defense, don't you also get like, come on now, like get the ball rolling, because that's a hard job being on the defensive line and making sure to.
Yeah. And especially if that defense is giving up constantly drives, they've been giving up consecutive drives on their defense. So that's the problem with Philadelphia, but that's either here and then. I think we'll know in 4 weeks how it's going to play out. I think we still got to control our own destiny first. Like we got 4 more games. If it was today, we'll be number 1 seed and clinch home field advantage, but it doesn't work that way. So we got to.
It doesn't.
4 more games to go. And I got an interesting, fun stat that you might
be. Tell me. Okay.
This stat hasn't happened since 2004, and this can put Brock Purdy in the same company as somebody that, I'm going to put somebody that you might be familiar with, and, you can say this guy had the toughest offense to defend for many decades. Like, think of an offense that had a really good offense, but couldn't win the big one at times, but then finally won the Super Bowl at the peak of his career. But he was like
Aaron Rodgers?
No, a really good quarterback. Like you had an argument between Tom Brady and who else in that era. Remember how they were competing every year in the conference championship? This guy was a really good quarterback. He audible stuff, and he was like the man that just good leader in the huddle.
Okay, hold on. Wait, give me like 2 seconds. Okay, because now I need to know. Okay, during the Tom Brady era, we have Peyton.
Yes. But here's the fun stat about this stat that Brock Purdy can join himself into. There hasn't been a quarterback that hasn't done that in 2004. Peyton Manning had 3 receivers for 1,000 yards receiving and a running back for over 1,000 yards, and he got 4,000 yards passing. Well, his best season was that year where he had 49 touchdown passes that year too, which he broke Dan Marino's record. But you look at that hasn't been done in 2 decades.
Yeah, so, that's insane. And so
Brock, I would think he would. I would say if he completes that, I think it would be hard to ignore him as MVP category.
I agree, and to still hear people talk that he isn't of that caliber is kind of annoying, and it almost makes me feel like he just has to win the Super Bowl in order to shut everyone up.
Actually, that would help. I think that would make his argument even more because it happened with Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't get the conversation overnight. It took him years to get his respect.
Yeah.
But I mean, see exactly what David from Colorado was talking about. Like this hasn't happened. Like I'm mind blown. I thought he would have had it like consecutively, but you want to know the receivers and the players he threw the ball to besides
Who?
Marvin Harrison, which his son's declaring from Ohio State.
Oh,
Marvin Harrison was a good receiver for the Colts. Then you had Reggie Wayne, who had a break. Actually, Reggie Wayne had the most receiving yards that year. And you know who else was that receiver that nobody talks about that much?
who? No, I don't know.
Brandon Stokely. He wasn't a big household name, but he got 1,000 yards. But
Okay.
I'm giving you the funds. Oh, and you know who their tight end was?
No, who? Tell me.
He played in Iowa, and his name is Dallas Clark.
Oh, hey, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe something with that Iowa tight end might do something for us. I don't know. But Adrian James was a good running back too. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah.
No, that's good.
I mean,
Okay.
if you look at the stats of Peyton Manning, look at the numbers and look at all the receivers, and you'll see why. Because Brock Purdy, for the receiving yards, he already got Ayuk 1,000 yards, so that's already on the checklist. Christian McCaffrey's got his 1,000 yards check. Two more receivers to complete it. George Kittle
just need Kittle, right? And probably Samuel.
Debo.
Yeah.
You know how many yards that Kittle needs to get 1,000 yards?
Oh, I'm sure it's very little. How much?
189 yards to go.
Oh, next game.
Maybe the next couple of games because I don't know.
Okay.
He'll still get his production, but you know how many yards Debo needs?
How many? I don't know.
261 yards to go.
So it's definitely gonna get done this year.
It's manageable, but if we can give him the ball. But yeah,
that is amazing. That's a really great stat.
I never thought of it that way when I looked at it because it was mentioned out there on one of those like on one of those shows on ESPN or something, they were throwing those type of stats out there that this hasn't happened since Peyton Manning did it in 2004.
Yeah.
This would be in good company. But I don't even think it matters if he even puts up those type of numbers. They're still going to overlook them. But I think once he wins the Super Bowl, he's going to get that conversation at some point.
Now, here's a question. Is he constantly, and this is really coming from me and maybe like the females in football, is he constantly getting overlooked because he was the very last person picked in the draft? Does that mean something to football and analysis when they have these things like where you were, what number you were drafted? Does that mean something?
It kind of has a little part of it, but I don't think it really matters what draft spot you were, as long as you capitalize and take the most out of it. Like Brock Purdy wasn't handed the job. You know, Brock Purdy had a long ways to prove himself because he was the last pick in the draft. And, you know, let's be honest, as football fans, did we think this kid was going to make our roster as a third-string quarterback?
Of course not.
We signed Nate Sudfeld to a solid contract to be our third-string quarterback or backup at least. And the crazy part was the Niners said, you know what? Okay, I like this Brock Purdy over this kid. And it didn't go overnight, but he had to earn his way up there. So injuries kind of opened the door for him. But I think that's all it takes is one opportunity. And
right.
Remember that movie from 8 Mile? All it takes is one opportunity.
It does. I mean, it's
a lifetime, like they say. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And sometimes, you know, even when I talk about things in work and life, sometimes you can also relate it back to football in the sense of like, when you got that one shot, you just got to be ready and you got to take it.
Got to be ready for it. And that's all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brock was a third-string quarterback. Everybody had questions last year. Like, oh, what happens if Trey or Garoppolo are injured? Are we gonna have to depend on this unknown rookie and stuff? And that had to be something he had to answer at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think we maybe talked about this on the last show. I think his first actual game was against Brady.
Yep, but he did get some game action against KC, and then he did it. Okay. And he get then against the Dolphins, and then but his first start was against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and he's number 13 because his favorite player growing up was Dan Marino. Isn't that funny?
Dan Marino, yep.
Marino. Honestly, I called this. Do you remember when I think I first talked to you the first time? I was like, or did I talk about it on the show yet? I really think, and I know it's crazy, but I think it really could be Dolphins versus Niners for the Super Bowl.
I think you're kind of like, I think that's a fantasy wise. I think you said something. You said, I don't know if you did say that. I think you said something about like, okay, I can say some of your takes are good, but I don't know about the Cowboys and Niners in the conference. The Cowboys have to
All
prove
right.
that they can advance to the divisional round.
Okay.
Dolphins, they're like a finesse team. I don't know. They got to get it together because when they play some tough teams, they just don't prove it. Like what we saw on Monday night, they just couldn't beat the
Yeah,
Titans. They couldn't beat
that
the
was
Titans. Titans are not a good football team, but they are a physical type of team that's going to push to the limit.
so I heard with that game something about like Mike McDaniels had to get an extra, like his shoes were in the thing, and so the quarterback's shoes cleats didn't get, so he's wearing somebody else's shoes. Did you hear about this?
I didn't hear about that.
Something, and that's why he fell or fumbled or something like that. Anyways, I thought it was wild. But yeah, I thought the Dolphins were gonna win and they didn't, but it is what it is. And
Oh, see, this is a good thing how we all thought as fans. Okay, like whoever thought Purdy would end up being the starter last year, I didn't think so because
Right.
I thought Trey was going to blow up the lead and just become the next Patrick Mahomes. That's what all of us were hoping at one point. And then there were some that didn't like Trey.
that was me.
But I felt like Trey didn't get a fair chance. But I'm not
Okay.
gonna sugarcoat it because one, he's gone. It's history. I really wanted somebody who can do a lot of stuff. And the more I see Brock Purdy playing this game, I don't feel like I got any doubt on this kid anymore. So it takes time for me to get a hang of it, you know. Like for Brock to win me out, he's starting to prove that he's more than what I've seen from the guy. I keep saying not another Jimmy Garoppolo, but then he keeps proving me wrong. He keeps smacking me in the head and saying, "Hey, I'm not Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm Brock, damn it."
Yes, I agree. I wasn't a Trey fan. I didn't understand what the hype was. I remember, I think we gave up. Didn't we give up like so many first
We gave up
round?
we gave up multiple in a third
And I
round.
thought that was wild. I was like, this is way too much. And I just didn't. I wasn't a fan.
It was the risk we were willing to do because
It was. And look what happened. But in a way, it happened the way it was supposed to.
So
and
yeah, but let's say hypothetically, let's say we never had to get Trey. Let's say we moved up and got, I think this would have been crazy a fantasy dream. Like, let's say hypothetically we didn't get Trey and we still got the picks. Let's say we get Jamar Chase. Oh my God, that would be too damn scary. Like, I thought the what ifs, you know how sometimes the what if would have been great.
Right.
What if we would have got Jamar Chase?
What if?
God. Even if we didn't go to the playoffs that following season,
it
would have built on. And then we somehow just get Brock Purdy out of nowhere. And then he's got 3 damn good receivers.
This is true. I mean,
and then would be more of a passing team, but then still run the ball.
Yes. Yeah, very true. I talked to someone on my TikTok and they're a Dallas fan. And he told me, and I was like, I'm going to use this now. He was like, playing the Niners is like playing the Avengers. You guys are just stacked. You have superhero after superhero on, you call them out. Debo, Kittle, CMC. Like you have weapons on all sides. And I love that.
Well, Avengers is like one of those tough ones to beat. So I can see why. I see a lot of these damn YouTubers trying to some of them that do give Brock his credit, and there's some that just don't see how we all see it. But yeah, anybody needs talent.
Well, there's that other guy too. What is he on? I don't know which the show is. What show? It's one of those sports analysis. Nick Wright. He hates Brock Purdy. He cannot he won't ever really praise him. And I'm just like, why can't the numbers don't lie? That's the thing that drives me insane.
The guy's just a stats guy, but he doesn't look at Brock any other different. It's because he was drafted the last pick. He looks at the measurables. He doesn't really. I don't think he ever watches the Niners play. He just goes by how he sees it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the bad. And that's a bad way to do takes. You got to watch the games at least.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. How do you talk about it if you don't even watch it?
Yeah, you can't talk. I mean, this guy gets paid, what is it, millions of dollars or something like that? Or at least a good amount of, at least try to watch the game. And at least, if I'm going to do something for ESPN or any other sports, at least they need to be required to watch all the games.
You would think that would be the bare minimum. Right?
That would be the right way for, if I'm going to hire somebody, I want to have somebody who knows their damn thing about football.
Oh, makes total
watch
sense.
The game. That's the requirement. You got to watch the football game. And if you don't watch
what else are they doing on Sunday?
Yeah, and I don't think Nick even qualifies. I think he gets like a C or D at the minimum because he
Yeah, I
doesn't get it
agree.
all in.
He's not my favorite. Stephen A is definitely my favorite.
Stephen A. The only thing I like about Stephen A. is when he bashes the Cowboys. That's all I like about Stephen A.
That's honestly, I'll tell you, I think that's where my love for Stephen A came in. Where
and then he wears a stupid hat to make fun of him.
Yeah, that's where my love for him came in. Or if I know that the Cowboys are going bad, like doing something bad, like I have to see what Stephen A's reaction is because it makes my heart so happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. And now we have the Cardinals this Sunday. We're going over there. I'll actually be at that game. So
You're going at that game, huh?
I am. I can live from Arizona.
Yeah, you're gonna do a video going over there at the Cardinal Stadium?
I could. I definitely. I should. I've been
down there.
Is it nice? What's it like? Because I'm sure
it's all right. It's all right. Like it's just like it's State Farm Stadium. All they got over there. I mean, it's a nice stadium, but don't get me wrong.
Okay.
The only thing that most people come to see is that Pat Tillman statue, which I've seen before.
Oh,
You probably want to take a picture of that. The
okay.
statue, the guy that served our country, the man. Like outside of football, you got to admire Pat Tillman for what he did bravery wise. He didn't have to do that, but he did it anyways because he wanted to. But he died over a friendly fire. That just never makes sense to this day. But that's one thing I can give high respect for Pat Tillman was he put his body out there and it was no reason for somebody to do a friendly fire on the guy.
Yeah, that's never okay. I know that there are a couple meet and greets. There's some tailgates. So it'll be exciting. There's a meet and greet with Patrick Willis. He will be there.
Patrick Willis is going down there? Man, yeah. I wish I can go over there. Damn, lucky you. You're going to probably get a picture with Patrick Willis or do a video, right?
Absolutely. Patrick Willis is one of my favorites. I still have the jersey that I used to fit into. But now, he can just sign it.
I still got that Patrick Willis I still got that from a Reebok jersey of Patrick Willis. Like I got one. I think I got one.
Reebok too. Like I think it's ours is from the Super Bowl. Like I have
the one I got is still there. It's just a red one, but it's still stitched and it's nice. But it don't fit me like it used to. But I would have loved to get that autograph signed. Matter of fact, since you're going, can you do me a solid? I'll just ship that jersey so you can get it signed for me.
Well, hurry up and ship it to me. You got to do it.
Yeah, you just send me because I know, but I don't know how long that would take.
If you ship it overnight, it doesn't cost you a whole much.
But then I got to know where your address is at so I can ship that. And then maybe you can help me get that signed for Patrick. Then you could ship it back to my place.
Yeah, I'll just ship it back to you. We'll figure it out.
I got to get that signed. I don't know. Does Willis even want to do 2 signatures or how does that work?
Well, just give it to my mom because my mom's coming with me and she can get it signed.
Yeah, because I don't have no use for that jersey. I can still get it used for a signature or something.
Definitely get a signature. Hello, it's Patrick Willis.
Yeah, that's just hard because if I was going out there, I would have just did it myself. But I don't know, just curious.
Unless you want to drive out there, drive to Arizona.
I gotta work that day. That's what sucks.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Wait, the tailgate is on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'll send you the things. I don't know what time. I think it's like 2 to 6 or something. But that should be exciting. So yeah, I might do some live on TikTok. Here we are.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it would work on the shipping part, but I don't know. I'll have to figure it out myself how that works. If not, it'll be all right. But I don't know how that would work. I don't know how that would work. Because I don't know. It just seems kind of weird if I just put it out there. It's an old jersey, but it's still in my closet. It doesn't.
Well, what if you shipped it to the hotel?
I'll see what I can do about it. It's just I gotta make sure I have enough to ship it. But that'd be kind of cool. Just the signature on the back of the jersey, and then I could just put it as a nice collection. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how long that shipping will take, so that part won't even sometimes shipping does take a while for some reason.
It does, even if you try to guarantee it and stuff. Plus it's during the holiday season.
So it probably won't be a good idea right now. But I think you're gonna have a good experience with Patrick Willis. I have a Roger Craig autograph, like a big.
Ooh, that's exciting.
It's a big autograph of Roger Craig. Yep.
That's cool. Awesome. And I see there's new people in the chat. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Crazy Jews.
There's David from Colorado, a Broncos fan, and then there's Crazy Jews, and then there's my co-host for the NFC West, which is Ramsaholic. This man is a holic of a. And he's an East Coast guy, but he's funny.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
Man, he loves them Danny DeVito too. So I don't know.
Hey, Glenn loves chicken cutlets. Who doesn't like chicken cutlets? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, hey, one thing I gotta admit, I'm hoping that Danny DeVito pulls up some upset. I hope he spoils the
Me too.
Eagles' dreams at least for that moment. But
Let me tell you, this kid will be my favorite if he is able to beat the Eagles.
yeah,
He'll be my new favorite.
It'd be nice, Italian,
Right.
Be nice, yeah.
I know. My friend was like, "Why don't you get his jersey? He's Italian." I'm like, "Hello, I have a Garoppolo jersey. He's
We
Italian
don't
and
need
was a
that. We don't need
Niner."
that. Nah, we don't need that.
What's
Why?
going to happen to him? What happens to him? Because does he have a contract that he stays there, or are they going to release him?
I
How
think
does that
he's
work?
only there because of the practice squad. I don't know. I think he has to get another contract or something.
No one's going to pick him up. I think. What do you
I
think?
think there's going to be a team that's going to pick him up, but I think
Really?
I think like for a team to have a backup. I think the Giants might try to retain him. They might try.
Oh,
They might try, but then maybe the Niners might have a little sneak up contract and say, "Hey, DeVito, come to the Bay. You can back up Brock Purdy, man. We got
hey.
you." And he probably would say, "You know what? I'll take it. I'm gonna go to the Bay and then go be Purdy's backup, be his buddy."
He might. You never know. It's not a bad idea. I mean, they are very young, so
Yeah.
it's not a bad idea. I think.
Damn, that cat ass full of energy. He's just running around. That dude just
What
likes
do
attention.
what do you think the score prediction for Sunday's game is going to be? I'm going to write it
Score
down.
prediction for the
Yeah.
Cardinals and Niners. That's a really good one.
I know.
I think it's going to be a little bit more of a close game. I mean, not close game, but maybe like not as bad as everybody says. I mean,
Yeah.
in my own score prediction, I'm going to say 42-10, but no, I don't think that's.
I don't think you don't want me to write that down. We're not writing that one down.
But I'm just saying in my own fantasy, I think that's what's going to happen, but it's not.
Okay.
I think it's going to be like 31. Let's see, 31-17. I think that's going to be that kind of score.
17 is like our number. Like seriously, if you see the number 17,
31.
we always pick 17.
I think it's gonna, yeah.
You picked 31-17, and I wrote down 34-17.
Okay, so I like that score, but I just think it's not going to be that big of a blowout. I just don't, because I mean, what kind of game are we going to get with Kyler Murray? He might not play that bad, so it might not be that bad of a ball game. But if it is, I'm glad it is. But I don't know. Kyler Murray is going to give us something to play for, and I don't think the Cardinals are going to lay down just like that. They're competing for respect.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, and I'm sure that our team isn't going in there like, oh, it's going to be easy. I really do think that they're going to watch film. They're doing their thing. Because I think they do I think the Niners do know what's at stake, the number one seed, and having that bye that first week. And I think just knowing that helps them, knowing that the end goal is there, right? Like,
yeah, the goal is to stay healthy throughout the playoffs.
Exactly.
If we can stay healthy throughout the playoffs, I don't think there's anybody, there's no team in the NFC that will stop us. I mean, what you saw, what we did against the Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles, that should give you the statement that we're the team in that conference to beat.
Agreed.
But in order for that to happen, we gotta clinch the NFC West.
Mm-hmm.
So we're guaranteed home field advantage for that part.
Yeah.
And we gotta win out the rest of the way so we can get the home field advantage throughout the playoffs and get that first round bye to rest so we can get healthy.
Yeah, and I'm sure Kyle, and I'm sure they all know that. I'm sure they all know what the schedule looks like and that they could get the bye and this and that. The only one, the Cardinals this game doesn't make me nervous. The only one, and I don't want to say nervous, but what I'm curious to see how they play is going to be the Monday night Christmas Day game. So it's a Monday night. It'll be on Prime, like television, not Prime Amazon, but like primetime TV. We play Baltimore.
Yeah, since you're making predictions about something, I'm going to give you a bold take, and you're probably going to just take it to the bank. You know what that's going to be?
What
we're getting for Christmas is what we're going to get in February.
Okay.
What I mean by that, we're getting that in Las Vegas. So you're going to get a preview of Christmas game. The game in Christmas is what you're going to get in February, and I'm sticking with it.
So you think, so if I'm picking up what you're putting down, you're saying that you believe the Super Bowl will be between us and Baltimore?
Yes.
Didn't we do that already one time and lose?
But it's a long time ago. The difference is here's the
Yeah,
difference.
that was Harbaugh era, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was when Harbaugh was there, but here's the difference. Can you name any other team in the AFC that can beat Baltimore?
No, I have a fantasy about the Dolphins because they're my favorite animals, but it's not.
Hey, but I'm just saying, is there a team?
No, you're right. The AFC. Well, hello. Wait a minute. I don't think they're doing well. But people always talk about the damn Chiefs.
But they're kind of like, I don't know. It's just if you
They're
play
losing their like mojo.
Yeah, if you play good like the way Baltimore is playing, I think they easily just take the AFC. I just think the Niners are the toughest one in the NFC for that conference. They have to at least play their A game to beat us, and we got to be healthy also. But I think this is just my bold prediction. I see it as Niners and Ravens, which I've had this predicted throughout.
Oh.
I had this predicted like before the season. This was my bold prediction. And this had nothing to do with the conspiracy stuff. I actually had this on my head because I thought, well, Lamar Jackson versus the last pick in the draft. This is a matchup made in heaven. This can be the redemption of the Niners because we lost on 47. This can be the game where Lamar Jackson gets the Kaepernick treatment, gets hit constantly, and they don't call flags for him being hit out of bounds. And the Niners get away with a couple of penalties, and we come away with the Super Bowl title. And Brock Purdy comes on top as the Joe Flacco MVP level. And then Brock Purdy gets the MVP, and he races to hoist the trophy.
Oh, my gosh.
And then they make a movie out of it. They make a movie out of it, and that's how I look at it. But I don't know. I can only dream about it, but I can only dream about it. I think that's what's going to happen.
I mean, I don't think it's a crazy prediction. I think there's the likelihood of that really happening.
Yeah, there's a good chance. I'm saying I'm going from 60% of the chance.
Oh,
because that's a good chance. 60%. It can change. You know what can change is the Chiefs could be a hot team down the stretch and go to the Super Bowl. Philadelphia might get their shit together and they might come into that situation.
Right.
But it can change within time. But I'm just saying. Yeah.
I like it.
I'm just saying if we see this in February, just look at that video like a month ago, and I'll tell you why I said it. This is just something I see.
Also, it'll be really good, if we play them in December and then we have to match them up again. That's great film for us to review too and kind of
see what we did wrong on those games and fix it the next game. I think this is what we're going to get because Monday night, you're getting a Christmas on Monday Night Football. You're getting a game. This is a Super Bowl preview. Yeah. I don't think you're going to see this just in Christmas. You're going to see this in February.
That's pretty – I mean – I like it. I support it.
I'm hoping one of the Niner fans or somebody takes my screenshot of it. I'm going to say this one more time.
You should just put it on blast.
What I'm going to say for everybody in the community of NFL, you're not going to only see this game on Christmas. You're going to probably see it in February in Las Vegas. The Niners and Ravens are going to be in the Super Bowl. And it's
You heard it here first.
You heard it here. You're going to see the matchup. I don't think there's no other game worthy to watch but this game. What you're going to see in Christmas is what you're going to see in February.
Yeah. I mean, can very
I don't know. Maybe you have a 50%. I mean, maybe you have a 55% chance of you being correct on the Cowboys and Niners conference championship because it's not out of the picture. I just have to see them win out like win the divisional round at least.
No, yeah, they have a lot to. I mean, I will say, and this hurts to say, but I think they're playing pretty decent. Do I still think my team can beat them? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's also a part of me that wants that matchup to happen because then it just proves again they keep losing and it's such a big game.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I like your logic. Oh, you know what? For Dallas fans, they can probably just put their heads up high and say, hey, we finally got to the conference championship for so many years.
Right. But then they're going to get knocked off again through us.
Bam! And say, damn, those Niners kicked their ass again.
Yes. And I'm going to
get a good one. Yeah.
Shirts that you have, the little Dallas shirts.
But I don't want them to have false hope. I want them to at least lose the divisional round so they can lower those expectations a little bit.
Okay, I feel that too.
But if they get a smacking and they never see the conference championship ever again, then okay, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yes, but you know what would be wild? Okay, I know we're going wild here.
Okay, well, I'll take her.
If they end up going to the division championship game and Dak gets hurt and no, because Trey's third round. Never mind. Because who goes?
Oh, you don't want to see that happen. You don't ever want to see that happen. I mean,
I would be curious to see what that would look like.
Ooh, no, it would be Cooper Rush who would be the backup.
Yeah, because then I thought Trey Lance, but then I was like, he's the third string.
He still has to learn the system. It's going to take him some time.
Right, which would be great for us because then it almost feels like redemption of when we played the Eagles and we didn't have a quarterback, and basically it's like they don't have a quarterback because he doesn't know stuff.
So you're talking about Jalen Hurts, okay, yeah. But I don't know about that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to make it sound like that. I want us to beat them at their best. That's all I want.
That's true. I don't want to say Hurt because Hurt is not something that I ever want for a player.
I don't think you meant it that intention. I think you're kind of just saying it just to even. But I don't even think it's even that necessary. I think we're still good despite them healthy. So.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we could play them every day this week and win every game.
Well, I mean, yeah. So I guess our prediction is like they score 17, but I got them 30. I got 31 points for us, which I see that as a realistic scoreboard. I just don't know. Like, I want to believe 42-10 score, but I just don't see
I'm going to put that in parentheses because you keep talking about it, and I think we should just manifest that happens because that's a blowout, and I love it.
No, but like, okay, but let's say that does happen. At least I kind of had that in my head. Like, that's what I'm thinking it could be, but it's not.
We'll see. I put you
like,
down.
My realistic is just 31-17 because I don't think it's going to be that bad of a ball game. Cardinals are going to compete their hardest out there, and they're going to put a fight. And I think going against Kyler Murray is going to be a really tough challenge. And they just Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, so any game can happen.
Oh, for sure. And we all know anything can happen on any given Sunday. So,
yeah,
as long as everyone stays healthy is really our main focus.
Yeah, I think getting the first round bye will give us more of an advantage because then we're going to have some guys who they're probably going to rest during maybe those other games where they're not going to be able to play those other games with the injuries. At least the first round bye will give them time to recover quickly so they can come and play.
Absolutely. I think so too. And I was looking at something. It looks like Hargrave is going to be in, and who else? Ward's
gonna be in. The injuries don't look that severely bad.
Yeah.
Like I think they dodged it because it could have been like at least 2 to 3 weeks for that injury to recover.
Yeah.
But I think they played it smart. So even if we didn't want to play them, I still think our secondary did okay.
Amazing.
They did okay on their part. It's just we'll see what happens, but yeah, I do like our chances. But it's just what?
It'll be a good game.
So yeah, so since we're going by us winning by 2 touchdowns, it seems realistic to go that route. But I think as far as like a guy who can break out this game, give me 2 breakout players on both sides of the ball.
Ooh, 2 breakout players. Okay, hold on. I need to charge my. So you're coming with me. Breakout players. Breakout. I would like to see Kittle. That's not a breakout player, but I would like to see him. He's been doing so much on the blocking end. I feel like that I'm kind of like, I feel like Kittle needs more touchdowns and praises and stuff like that. And then for an actual I don't know, breakout season or something. Gosh, who would I like to see? I don't even know who I would like to see. Let me think. Offensive line. Well, I already know. For sure, CMC is going to score. Debo most likely is going to score. CMC most likely is going to score twice. So who would I like to see do something? Who's on the second side? I don't know.
You mean on the offense or defense side of the ball?
Offense. I'm thinking on the offense. Who's on this secondary that I would like to see another guy that hasn't got much opportunity. Yeah, who's the receiver that goes in when Debo goes out?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about?
But I don't think Ray Ray's going to be out there because he's still
There we go. Yeah, him.
He's on IR right now, so he.
Oh, okay.
So if you're talking about another X Factor guy, I'll say I want Juwan Jennings to have a breakout game at least. I want him to at least have another good game. You know, I actually predicted last week that this would be one of Juwan Jennings' little breakout game. Which
He
I
didn't he score? He scored a touchdown this game.
yeah, he did that one where he stiffed that.
Yeah.
I think Juwan Jennings is gonna have a decent game on this matchup. So I'll go with that as a breakout player, but defense, you know, I'm gonna go with defense on a player that I'm gonna go with is man, I gotta see some more sacks. Come on, Chase, give me a quarterback sack, man.
You know what? Chase Young would be impressive to see another one. You know who else? And he did really great this game was Gregory. What's his
Randy
last name?
Gregory, Mr.
There
I
we
can't
go.
stay out of marijuana.
Yeah, I thought he did a sack, right?
Yeah, he got a sack, and you know who else got a sack? Another Raider cast off, Cleveland Farrell. He got one.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, we get a bunch of these cast off. One cast off from the Broncos and then one from the Raiders.
We'll take it.
We make them something. We make them decent at least.
I suppose.
Remember the time that Arden Key was considered a wasted talent with the Raiders? When he came to us, he looked really better than he ever did.
Well, you know what that means to me? I really think the environment that you're in is going to either flourish the player or make them stay stagnant. I really do think that the environment that you're in is going to
make a difference.
You. Yeah, for everyone, think about it. For every single person, even where you're working or where you're living, just people in general, your environment plays a huge part in it. And I think that the Niners have a really good organization, and it sounds like the locker room. It sounds like they're actually all friends with each other, and they all support
they back each other up too. Like
and that's huge because I could just imagine Seahawks locker room with what's his face, the one that gets angry all the time.
They weren't even defending him at that point. Like if you look at some of the teams that we played against, did anybody in the Eagles teammates even defend one of their teammates before the game? I seen that it happened with Bradbury, and nobody came in his defense.
Oh yeah. You're right.
And then when DK took the cheap shot on Fred Warner after Warner let him know don't do that again, he was just giving him that clear little memo, don't do that again to me. And when that happened, Lenore came in and said, "Hey man, don't hit my guy like that."
Well, that's the thing about the Niners. The Niners defend each other. The Niners protect each other. And, we've seen it time and time again. Don't get Trent Williams up in there because he will smack you.
He will rip you apart. That man is like Suge Knight in Death Row, man. You don't want to piss him off, man. That man's coming for you. He's coming for that smoke. But, yeah, you know what? I think we're going to find out this Sunday. Hopefully, I'm getting what I want, but realistically, I just think that's the score I see the other way.
Okay. Well, I wrote them both down, so we're going to find out. And I think it's going to be a great game, and I think we're going to win the West.
I believe we are. We're already up by 4 games. We pretty much just win one more game, and that's a wrap. That's it. Don't matter.
That's all we need. That's all we need.
Yep. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all next. We'll see y'all next
Tuesday.
Week. Next week. Yeah, next week.
Yay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Stay classy, faithful.